Well, a very good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. My name is Roger Ferguson, and welcome to the Talk Crypto podcast. In this video, I want to look at one of the favorite projects of mine, which is XRP, and I want to present the case of why I think, based on the evidence that I'm about to present, XRP can see a price point of 48 to around about $111. Have I got your attention? Wonderful. All right, just a couple of housekeeping things that we should cover here. First of all, I am no financial advisor. I have no idea with regard to, financial advice. I'm just a regular guy who enjoys charting and, I'm just starting out on my journey with YouTube. So nothing I present to you here should be construed as financial advice. That would be silly, right? Okay, great. Further, I do not have any accreditation from the CMT, the Chartered Market Technician Association. However, having said that, because of my deep interest in charting, at a future date I will be sitting an examination so that I could achieve the CMT level 1 and then move on and, pick up additional, level 2 and level 3 certification. 2 points I've made. The third and final point before we jump into this video is that this video is going to be relatively long in terms of its length, simply because I'm taking a zoomed out approach to it. A zoomed out perspective where we look at the price points from the lows achieved in 2014 to the previous highs that were put in December, January of 2018, and then the most recent pullback that was the price point that was achieved in March of 2020. So obviously, in order to create such a comprehensive video, it's going to take that amount of time. So if you find that my delivery is quite slow to your usual, preference, then by all means increase the speed. I'm sure you know how to do that, right, on YouTube. So I've covered that part. There was one other point I was going to make, but I think it escapes me. Actually, I think it would be a good time to share how deeply committed I am to the movement of the XRP community and how passionate I am to be a member of that community. And I hope that the community, by extension, can find some value in this presentation for my price projections of both 48 and 111. I think I've said quite a lot. Enough, Roger. Let's jump into the video. Wonderful. Okay, great. So I think it's important to mention here that I'm looking at a Bitstamp, and so the prices that I may have on screen, for example, 331 as the high and 0.02 as the low and 0.11 as the March 20 CV19 low, may differ to that of yours. And for that, I ask for your forgiveness, simply because every exchange prints a different price point. Just to be clear, I'm using Bitstamp, and we're currently looking at the weekly chart. Okay, fabulous. So one of my favorite tools is the Fibonacci retracement. So we're going to look at the lows here and pull that up to the highs. And then, just to be accurate, I'll just see it's picked up the right high. The right high should be 3.31700. And the lows were 0.00281. Fantastic. And if I just enlarge it, you can see price ran up from the 0.02 to the 331 area, and then it pulled back, as we know, during March of 2020 and printed a low of 11.4. Well, this pullback, as you can see, within the grand scheme of things, it only pulled back, we could argue, to 38.2 and obviously very close to the price point of the 50% retracement level, and that price point was about the 0.09 level. I think so, therefore we can agree that price got very close to the 50% but indeed retraced to the 38.2 level. So then I ask the question, yes, we may have pulled back deeply, but in the grand scheme of things, are we in a severe correction? And I think we could agree that that's not the case, right? A severe correction would probably been a deeper correction from this entire price points that have been printed. A deeper correction would be perhaps the 61.8 level, or the 70 or the 78.6, but we didn't do that. We certainly hit 38.2 and we got close to 50%. Okay, I think I've made a point there, and the point being that we're still in price discovery mode. We're still in an upward channel. So what I'd like to mention next is where I think price is going, and I'm going to back that up. So if we agree that this is an move, or the wave 1, and this is wave 2, and therefore wave 3 should be an extension of wave 1, or put another way, AB, let me just illustrate this here. AB will equal C, where's C? Coming down here. C will go up to about the D level, okay? So how did I get this AB equals CD? Okay, here we go. So price ran up, 331, pulled back 0.11. 38.2 was the fib retracement that was achieved. So 38.2, we can agree, if we do a full extension of the AB, and we agree that AB equals CD, therefore a full extension for wave 1 will be wave 3, which will give us 38.2. And how did we get that? We corrected to 38.2, and then we do an entire move of that extended forward to another, the other side of 38.2, a full extension, and it gives us 48 as a price point, which I've marked. Let's just say that because we got so close to the 50%, which 50% was 0.09, but we actually hit 0.11. Therefore, if we were to do a full extension of the 50%, I'll just clean this up a bit. You can see that 50% full extension would take us to the 111 price point, right? Here it is, 50%. Okay, great. So that's one of the things I wanted to share with you. Now let's try and find, some more another viewpoint to solidify our price projection. And I think if we look at the bars pattern, if I run it from the low to the high, and then just check, yeah, that's 281 and 31.7. And then we take this, just pull this down a bit more, take this and extend it over, placing it at the low. I think it's eerily a little accurate, isn't it? Therefore, if we were to do this extension for this entire move, which we call wave 1 or A, B, and this is wave AB, and this is CD, and therefore wave 3 should take us up, as you can see, to the 111 or the $100 mark. What I did want to show you as well, and I'll leave this here, is how I feel XRP, or rather I don't feel, but the charts reflect that XRP may hit a price point of the $13 to the $15 level before we have a pullback. And let's try and find some other agreement factors. And so I'll use a fib extension for this. And so I'll low to the high to the pullback. Let's check that that's pretty accurate. No, it's not. So the low was 0.00281 and the high was 331,700, but the pullback was 0.11,400. So I'm being I'm trying to be quite precise here, therefore it's taking a little longer. So where does this fib extension take us, right? That was the move up, that was the move down, and so we place this same bar pattern and place it at the low of this area here, which was achieved in March 2020. And I think if I increase or zoom in a bit, right, the first point that price should get to once we break above the previous highs, you can see it's round about the $15 area, isn't it? $13 to $15 area. And when we get there, no doubt we'll have a pullback. That is, if it repeats what was done before. And should it pull back, it'll pull back to around about the $4 or the $5 area, or even it may come down to test the lows, or rather the previous highs, before we accelerate, or rather after which we should accelerate, to see, these price points here, the $48 or $50 area, and indeed the 100 or the 111 area. So I hope that's sort of made sense as to how I got, these price points, and it's not just a pie in the sky number. Again, it's just technical analysis. It usually is pretty accurate in pinpointing future price points. And so if it were to do the same thing that it did here from Feb 17 to round about Jan 18, and if we apply that logic and say, okay, from March 2020, if we were to make a similar run, then we could see why we could get to the $50 and $100 area. I think I've labored the point a little too much, so forgive me for that. I'm just trying to offer some concrete evidence as to why I think that is the case. Okay, here's something else I want to share. So this I'm going to try and get relatively accurate. And then I'll pull down here. Yeah, okay, that's the best I'm going to do with freehand. I'm sorry, forgive me. If we go into the daily, excuse me, you'll be able to see, essentially this is called a cup and handle formation. And the beautiful thing is that, it's usually required to be quite U in shape and not exactly a V. So it's not a V, rather we can agree that it does reflect a U, and this is the handle area that it's currently pulling back to. And so just to extend this, I think a good point where we'll get some form of confirmation that we are on our way to break this cup and handle formation, and therefore find higher prices, is when we can take out these trend lines that I'm just putting in. And I'll offer you a price point to give us that level of understanding and to some degree a higher probability of us breaking out. And so that price point would be somewhere round about the one, depending on when we achieve it, right? So as time drags on, then the price point for the breakout is lower, isn't it? But if we were to do it sometime soon, just to offer an illustration, it would be around about the 145 area if it took us, the next couple of days. But the point I'm trying to make here is if we continued in this sideway kind of channel for a prolonged period of time, the breakout would obviously be much lower. I hope I've made myself relatively clear making this point. So once again, the good news is, and I think it can be seen clearly on the chart, is that we're in the grander scheme of things, or rather from a larger perspective, we're just in the process of forming this cup and handle formation, and once we break out above, we can explore taking out the previous high of 195, and then the previous high after that. I'll just jump back to the weekly. The previous high of after that, the 331 area, and then go for some new price discovery around about the $13 and the $15 area, and thereafter the larger price points of 48 to 50 to 100 or 111. I truly hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it wasn't too long a video. I'm new to YouTube, and I am on Twitter. I can be found at Fergie Roger. Fergie, Fergy, Roger, Roger. And, I really wanted to share my understanding and to connect with the XRP community, because there are other predominant or even prominent chartists that do XRP TA. And I just wanted to share my viewpoints and find some kind of agreement with what's being said out there. And I think there is a case to suggest that yes, indeed, XRP can find those higher price points that are being widely talked about. I think it's a good time to end it there. I truly hope you've enjoyed this. I have 0 subscribers right now, and I'm hoping that you found some value in this video, and I'd be very grateful if you could kindly subscribe to this video and obviously like and turn on notifications and all those wonderful things. I will be bringing you daily videos, and obviously, it will be talking about XRP and other projects. But if I'm being incredibly truthful and honest here, one of my favorite projects is XRP, and therefore I'm very passionate about it. I think it's a great time to end. Thank you ever so much for giving me some of your time today, and I truly hope you found some value in this particular video. Yours truly, Roger Ferguson, ending here, and I hope you've enjoyed this first TA video for XRP. Take very good care until the next time. All the very best. Bye-bye.